Do you think the government is becoming more right-wing?
I think most definitely gone more right wing in my lifetime. When I was a young child, I was learning both from like a historical perspective about the peace process, peace being made of Egypt, peace being made of Jordan, both of which, by the way, were done from right wing governments in Israel, and that was really amazing. And then I also learned about peace process in 2000, in the Oslo Accords in the 90s, with Ehud Olmert in the 2000s. You really learned about the potential for peace, and it felt like peace was something that was tangible and achievable. It now feels totally non-achievable and implausible. And I think that is because the Israeli government has become more right-wing. Benjamin Netanyahu, who's been the longest-serving Israeli prime minister in history, 16 years, more or less, uninterrupted of a break here or there, it has become more right-wing. Some of his partners in his coalition are unapologetically racist and right-wing. And that does have a big impact on me, and I think how many of us have our relationship with Israel. I'm here in America, and I'm seeing the Republican Party. I can't vote here, but the Republican Party has become so much more right-wing since Donald Trump became the president. And that's kind of amazing itself, and we're seeing that across Europe. I think the difference in Israel is, for Hungary as an example, a country that's become more right-wing in the last decade, there's no real impact in terms of external affairs outside the country. You feel it if you're in Hungary. You feel it if you're someone who's a non-white Catholic Hungarian. But Hungary's not at war with anyone else. There's no conflict with any of its neighbors. With Israel, they've been in a state of conflict since its inception. And as a result, outside of Israel, you feel it as well, very, very much so. And of course, those living in Israel, if you're a minority, if you're a Muslim Palestinian, you really feel that, I think, much more so. And I think the external impact is having a greater impact on those internally as well. So I think it's very real, and I think it's something that many of us outside of Israel feel very upset about. In Israel, I think it's a result of the failed peace processes going back for a long, long time, and especially the Oslo Accords. There was peace on the table, and many Israelis were very, very supportive of this, totally in favor of what was the then Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and his peace plan. He was unfortunately assassinated, but that was a minority movement in the country. It was a very liberal country. And for years, by the way, there was a socialist administration in charge of the country, going back since its inception. I think what happened is as peace became less and less of a reality for many Israelis, they began to abandon that. They began to abandon politicians who were saying, we're going to make peace, we're going to really create something that is going to prevent these terrorist attacks happening, we're going to create a Palestinian state. They saw that as something that was not possible. And as a result, they abandoned that kind of message and turned more to someone like Benjamin Netanyahu, who is this kind of hard man, Israel first, Jewish people first politician who will do whatever it takes to keep Israel safe. And I think many people just became disillusioned by the politics of the left in Israel. And as a result, Benjamin Netanyahu has been in power for a long time.